First of all, if I may, I just want to commend you. We go to several town council meetings, and you guys are the only ones who actually explain why you vote for what you vote for. You are the only ones who show and extend courtesy to the people who speak to you. And so I thank you, and I respect you and admire you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But
You know what's awesome is even though you guys disagree, and even though people might get angry and raise their voice, that's life, and you accept that. And in Robbinsville, they put the cops on you if you yell. So I think they do.
What I do is I yell and argue for a living. So I don't take it personally, and I enjoy it. And as Mr. Gambino or not, we're really friends when it comes to yeah. He'll shake his head, yeah. So,
are we or are we
yes,
not?
we are. Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you. So with that in mind, I want to know, how much is this building worth?
That's a good question. Have you ever had it appraised lately?
Which building are you
I mean, this particular
This municipal building. How much do you think
The
it's worth?
ordinance you're speaking on is for the sewer utility, so that question really isn't on the subject.
I promise I can connect it. If you would give me a ballpark number on how much you think this is
You
worth.
want us to mortgage the buildings.
Well, I'm saying you could technically auction this off, take that money, downgrade the building a little bit, and use that money to pay for things that you might serve.
It would be impossible to downgrade.
Yeah, I was going to say, sir, it doesn't get into a downgrade. That's, and I'm saying it with perfect respect.
Well, if you go to Robbinsville, I mean, they use a trailer.
They have a trailer for free. By the way, that's disgraceful. It really is. You may think it's okay, but it's not.
But they deserve it because they spend too much money.
That's your.
And the
Well, I'm not gonna
same thing in Hightstown. Their big issue is, where's our new municipal building going to be? And they're also in a trailer. So I'm saying you're sitting here in this luxurious, beautiful building, nice chairs here, nice chairs there. But if you go to Robbinsville and Hightstown, they're dumpy. But they're trying to take control of their fiscal situations instead of issuing bonds. So what I propose to you is that you could consider technically looking into auctioning off this building to a private sector, take that money, and then go finance capital improvements. That makes sense, I think.
It's something to look at, but the problem is we're a town of 93,000. We're mentioning two very small towns. We have much greater difficulties as it were.
If you look at the investment in this building, that was a huge win for the taxpayers, because this building's 75 years old now? 1928, okay, so 85 years old, roughly.
85 years old.
That's a pretty good bargain, if that was your capital improvement, that people are still getting benefit out of some money that was borrowed 85 years ago.
Before the Great Depression.
Minus the HVAC system.
I understand what you're saying. I just think, again, we're talking about issuing bonds, and we're talking about more debt. And again, the country is in $17 trillion of debt. That does affect Hamilton. That affects everybody in the United States of America. And the state is also in debt. And most of the municipalities in New Jersey are also in debt. So there's debt, 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 debt. And I say, God forbid we are ever held responsible for this. Shouldn't we protect ourselves against that and ask ourselves, what steps can we take never to have to issue more bonds?
There's a difference between the federal debt, which they encumber us with in order to fund their operating expenses.
We don't borrow for
We
current
don't do that.
expenses.
This debt is for infrastructure improvements.
So we're getting value in exchange for that. We put $7 million into the sewer plant, increases that value probably by $15 million.
And you're creating jobs.
And we also must balance our budget. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a balanced budget amendment in the federal constitution?
Oh, certainly.
Okay, well, they don't, we do.
Our budget is balanced.
And by the way, I do want to praise you for your for not raising your tax for freezing. I think that is awesome. I actually think that the entire state should follow that example. So you are the leader of New Jersey, so far as I know, on this issue. But again, getting back to the issuance of a bond, I'm just going to ask that there are steps that can be taken to look at what you can do to avoid issuing bonds. Like I said, you really could sell this building. That's not like an illogical, absurd idea. I know that it may have some historical value, but again, looking at the situation of the debt.
Do you understand, if you were to follow through with that, to sell the building and then use that money to fund infrastructure improvements, we'd have to pay money each year to rent space to operate that. What sense does that make?
Well, I think the point is that you're trying to stop any increase in your debt. I think that's the point. I think the point is that you want to say, what can we do to prevent it? That's the point that I'm trying to make. And I don't think that it is logical to issue more bonds in light of your was it $90 million of debt? That is actually a lot of debt. That's a real lot. And that's all I have to say on that issue. I think it's a genuine concern. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?